Well, a huge crowd of pro-lifers recently gathered in Maine's state capitol to speak out against a measure that would give the state one of the least restrictive abortion laws in the U.S. Lawmakers are debating a measure that pro-lifers say would make it legal to perform an abortion up until the moment of birth. More than 2,000 pro-lifers spoke out against the proposal last week during a special hearing in the State House. Still, the measure appears to have the votes to pass. Joining us now to talk about this and more is Father Aaron Danbois, pastor of Holy Savior in Rumford, Maine, and Gordon Davis, Life Program Director for the Holy Family Council of the Knights of Columbus in Lewiston, Maine. Thank you both for your time. We really appreciate it. Gordon, I want to start with you. We mentioned that this bill would legalize abortion up until birth. What's the current law on the books and why the change?
Right now it goes to 24 weeks, allows abortion up to 24 weeks, but this would allow abortion right to the point of birth.
Father Aaron, I want to bring you into this discussion. I know that you were at the State House when folks were giving testimony about this proposed legislation, and it grew that enormous crowd there, over 2,000 people. I know this type of thing really doesn't happen in Maine. I worked there for many years in local media, so I know that. Why do you think this particular bill brought out so many pro-lifers? And tell us about that day.
Well, first of all, it was a momentous day. It was just a fantastic spirit that existed in the State House. I don't think that the State House has seen that for a long time. And in fact, it reminded me of my days as a seminarian when we would go down to the March for Life in Washington, D.C. And so just everyone that was there was of one mind and one heart. You know, we wanted to protect life in the womb. What brought on this reaction, though, I believe is directly related to a movement that was started by Representative Laurel Libby, who was a member of the House of the Representatives in Maine, and she began a movement called Speak Up for Life. And this movement, Speak Up for Life Maine, worked to mobilize people of goodwill who really had issues with legitimate issues with LD 1619, and of course, part of that was meant to gather us, and to galvanize us. But it was also a movement that was meant to teach people how to advocate to their legislators, and and how to make their points of view known in a way that would be helpful for people to hear them. But that movement and that coming together was actually, I think, the catalyst for that presence that was generated at the State House.
Yeah, it really incredible indeed. Gordon, I'm curious, what happens next with this bill? I mean, it does seem like it's going to pass.
Well,
we're all being encouraged.
Gordon or Father? Go ahead, Gordon.
Go ahead, Gordon.
We're all being encouraged to contact our legislators, and especially those who, the 7 Democrats who did not sign on to this bill. So we've been asked to encourage them to not vote in favor of the bill, but to vote against it. The bill still hasn't gone to the floor yet, so there's still some time to perhaps influence some of the votes.
That is really good to hear. Father Aaron, and what can the faithful do? What would you suggest?
Well, first of all, I think the faithful need to pray. We need to bring this. We need to continue to storm heaven with our prayers. Because life is precious. But secondly, I think the faithful need to arm themselves. They need to make sure that they are in touch with their representatives, that they're speaking out. And if they don't know how to do that, they should look for ways of educating themselves on how to speak out properly, including how to write a letter to the editor, how to speak to your senator or representative on the telephone, and when you do speak to them, what do you say? And of course, if the opportunity presents itself, show up at a legislative hearing, and even if you're not there to give testimony, listen and be of support, And I think that is absolutely key. And I would say too that for those faithful who do not live in Maine, or who perhaps maybe do not live in a state where the right to life is being challenged at the legislative level, contact legislatures in Maine and in those other states, just to let them know how you feel, and to help them to recognize that there are people out there throughout the country who are watching what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And really want to make sure that life is protected at all ages and stages.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you both so much for coming on and talking to us about this. We'll be praying for you all up there and for the state of Maine. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. And I was asked to by Dave Bethrow, who's our communications director, and apparently one of your former colleagues, to extend a very gracious hello and to let you know that he misses you.
Oh, I miss him too. God bless him, and God bless you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you.